And hello everybody, welcome back to episode number 193 of the CheckX series. If you're new here, as I say every single day, the CheckX series is pretty much all about me, your host. I've been discussing absolutely everything that Elon talked about yesterday. And today we're going to discuss what he talked about yesterday on Wednesday, June 17th, 2026. He posted it just 68 times yesterday. And we're going to get right into the episode here, not to keep this intro rolling too long and waste your guys' time. Starting off, not as we usually do, with SpaceX and space exploration. Starting off this segment, Elon suggests that a combination of Optimus robots and solar panels could constitute the first self-replicating spacecraft, which is the Von Neumann probe, by the way, to explore the galaxy and extend consciousness. Also, SpaceX has named its X account and as its official disclosure channel, replacing traditional news wires and SEC filings for company news. Also, SpaceX confirmed the Dragon spacecraft undocking from the ISS, which we also talked about last episode. Yes, you wanted to mention again, from the ISS, and a successful Falcon 9 landing on a shortfall of Gravitas. I don't fully know how to pronounce that. The drone ship specifically. Moving on to SpaceX and space. Not moving on, but SpaceX also acquired Cursor AI in an all-stock transaction to advance from frontier AI capabilities and build useful AI models, which we also talked about last episode. You also discussed scaling up space radiator technology with Starship to cool data centers in space. Also, noting that the physics of radiating heat into a vacuum is a solvable problem SpaceX is familiar with due to its 10,000 plus satellites. So, I guess they're kind of experts on that already. Also, and last but not least, Elon reposted images of a billboard in Times Square stating that SpaceX's mission is expanding the scope and scale of consciousness. Pretty cool. Moving on to Starlink, just two things to add on to the episode here, but Starlink is providing data to millions in Ukraine, supporting maritime operations on 30 plus Golden Port vessels, and has officially received an operating license in Iraq. And last but not least, Falcon 9 successfully launched another batch of Starlink satellites from Florida as well. And moving on to Tesla and the Boring Company. Starting off, Elon shared a story of a Model Y driver who, while experiencing a medical emergency, had his son remotely reroute the car using full self-driving supervised, or FSD, to a hospital which doctors say saved his life. Wow. That's pretty crazy. And last but not least, the Prufrock MB2 machine has completed commissioning and is ready to mine in Nashville, with the MB3 model expected to ship in August. That is specifically the Boring Company, the things that make the tunnels, the things that go to the ground. You get the point. Moving on to artificial intelligence, talking about XAI and Grok specifically. Starting off this segment, Grok 4.3 is now available on Amazon Bedrock, and Grok Voice recently ranked number 1 on a humanness index. Humanness index. Kind of a weird word, but also Elon highlighted the release of Grok Imagine 1.5, which produces high-quality images and videos, and Elon predicted that full movies will be made with AI by the end of this year. Don't know how I feel about that one. But Grok is also now live as an agent in the sidebars of PowerPoint, Word, and Excel for business users. And last but not least, Elon stated that AI will achieve stockfish level coding, which is superhuman programming and architecting specifically, and that eventually, which we also talked about last episode, by the way, and that eventually mass and energy will replace conventional money as the primary metrics of value. And moving on to politics and censorship. Starting off this segment, Elon heavily criticized the UK government for arresting people over social media posts, which we've been talking about a lot about recently, and for pushing censorship under the guise of protecting children. And also, Elon reposted information about the UK regulator Ofcom investigating X and investigating Twitter, and internal documents suggesting organizations targeted him and X years ago. Last but not least, Elon commented on Spain's mass naturalization program for undocumented migrants and changing demographics in the UK and Germany. Europe is a mess right now. Big mess. But we're gonna wrap it up here with crime and social issues. crime and social issues. Starting off this segment, Elon expressed extreme outrage over a report detailing the grooming and abuse of 250,000 white British girls, which is 250,000 white British girls, calling for the death penalty or long-term prison terms for the perpetrators and the officials who allegedly covered it up. And also, Elon shared news regarding a thwarted drone terror plot against President Trump at the White House, the murder of Jen Gra in India, and the infiltration of Antifa by James O'Keefe. Also, Elon agreed with statements calling the Southern Poverty Law Center, or the SPLC, which we've talked about before, a hateful, fraud enterprise, which we've also talked about before, and that has manufactured and monetized hate. And to wrap up this episode, Elon reacted with surprise to news that California is pressuring utilities to award contracts to gay-certified firms. I guess. But, ladies and gentlemen, as we do every single day, this pretty much wraps up episode number 193 of the CheckX series. If you made it all those again, I appreciate you for watching. I recommend dropping a like, commenting, and subscribing if you haven't already. I also recommend going back and watching some of the other recent CheckX episodes just to get a nice little sequence of events going for you based on what Elon says every single day. Because at the end of the day, I'm your host, Ivan. This is the CheckX series, and I will see you